All right. Can I introduce you first before you just start to hop on in? She thinks she's cute today. See, that's the problem. Anyway, so my first guest is Niobe, our going to be 10-year-old tomorrow. So I wanted to talk to you about homeschooling and how you feel about it and how it's going and everything. So my first question to you is, when we first said we were going to homeschool you, how did you feel?
I felt just kind of sad because I wasn't able to see my friends anymore. Like the last day of my school, I was crying in the car. Remember?
I do. And so from that point, feeling like terrible about it, now how does homeschooling feel to you?
I feel better. I feel way better. What the heck was that? I feel way better because I don't have to wake up at like 6 a.m.
Okay. What else?
And I can actually do homework in my pajamas. And I don't have to wear no uniforms and stuff like that.
So do you feel... So, okay, well, let's go back to the whole friend thing. You've been able to still see your friends, right?
Yeah, but not as much.
Right. And so, but what we can get around that by what?
Asking, yeah.
Yeah, so play dates. But outside of that, which is that's a true feeling to have, because you don't get to see... Having play dates is a lot different than seeing your friends every day at school. So I understand that. But when it comes to learning, have you found it to be easier at home or at school?
Easier at home.
Why is that?
Because you've been through every grade and you're not like teaching at one grade every year. Because like all the teachers that I have had, they've been like, I couldn't see, I don't know. Some of the teachers, I couldn't see them being a fourth grade teacher. Because they have been with like little kids, toddlers for like a long period of time, and they probably don't know how. Well, it's probably going to be hard to kind of get used to being a fourth grade teacher instead of being a pre-K teacher.
So you're saying that... What are you saying?
I'm saying that you won't stay a fourth grade teacher for a long period of time. But the new life teachers, like the teacher that's like in pre-K, they're going to stay there for a long period of time.
So you're saying because I'm your mom, I'm able to be flexible with changing how I teach you? Is that what you're saying? So that's a good thing. Okay. So what makes school easier for you, though?
Just kind of, I don't know, I don't know.
You don't know what makes it easier?
Probably the videos I have to watch, how like the tutorials, how to explain how to do things on the homeschool curriculum.
So do you feel like because you're the only, we'll say, student at home, obviously Zamira's another student, but she's not in your grade. Do you feel like because it's just you have easier access to asking questions?
Yeah. Instead of being instead of the teacher right there, having a whole line of people just and having to wait your turn.
So what is the worst thing about homeschooling?
Wait, about the about the school or?
No, not about the school. Like your experience of being homeschooled, what is the worst thing?
Kind of sometimes being ignored because I'm like, Mom, you're on your phone. I'm like, Mom. And then you finally look up, like, what? I'm like, I need your help.
So there's times I get distracted, is what you're saying. Okay, so you're calling me out. Okay, that's okay. So there's times that I can be distracted.
Yes.
But for the most part, would you say that we do a good job at helping you?
Yes.
Okay. So the worst part is having to get our attention sometimes when we're distracted.
Yes.
Would you say that happens a lot?
Sometimes.
Not all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Okay. Well, that's not too bad. If that's the worst thing that's about the homeschool, that the parents get distracted a little bit, that's fair. Okay. So, what's the best part of homeschool?
I actually have a teacher that does, like, I've had that teacher that actually can help me understand instead of, like, showing me this little bit, and I have to sit down at my desk, and I can actually sit somewhere comfortable instead of sitting in a kind of chair that is hard and doesn't, and then it's like, instead I can sit on a couch and, like, actually feel comfortable doing it instead of kind of sitting in a plastic chair.
So the comfort
Yes.
of being of your environment, of being at home, is the best part of homeschool.
Yeah, because I know you guys better.
Yeah.
And I know how you're like.
Okay.
And teachers, I don't really know how teachers are like, and I'm only there for, like, a short period of time. So, and I'm with you guys a long period of time. So
you're more comfortable.
Yeah.
So, do you want to do homeschool another year?
Kind of, because I want to see my friends, and I'm used to going to new life, and I also kind of want to stay home and actually have breaks.
So you want the schooling education part of homeschool, but you want the social life of public school. I get it. So what I'm hearing is we need more play dates. Okay.
At least one every week.
Well, they also have schedules too, but we'll have to figure that out. But okay, well, thank you for your honesty. That's what I wanted. I wanted people to hear from a fourth grader going into fifth grade what they feel, what you feel about homeschooling this year. So
yeah, and
we'll have to do another interview next year to see how you feel about fifth grade. Yeah,
I'm kind of scared to go into middle school.
You don't have to be afraid. But all right, thank you, Niobe. All right, so for my second guest, we have Zamira, who's in what grade?
First grade.
All right, and that means you're going into second grade. So my question to you is, how did you feel the first time we told you that we were going to be doing homeschool?
I felt nervous and scared.
Why were you nervous and scared?
Because I thought stuff would be taken away.
Like you thought you'd have different punishments? Why is that?
Because, like, do you know how my other teachers?
Your other teacher from kindergarten?
Yeah, she was not kind of nice to me. Made me feel nervous then.
So then you were worried about, ooh, yeah, you don't want to bump it. You were worried about getting in trouble at home.
Yeah.
So, how has homeschooling actually been for you?
Good. That's hard reading sometimes, but now I'm getting better.
So you think you've gotten better with reading?
Yeah.
I would definitely say you've gotten better with reading. So what is your least favorite thing about homeschooling?
About the reading.
You don't like reading?
No, I like reading.
So it's your favorite. So when I said least favorite, I mean, what is the thing that you don't like the most?
like the sheets sometimes, but sometimes they're hard and I get them wrong.
So sometimes the sheets can be difficult.
Yeah,
you know,
like
how difficult
do you know
they
how
are?
you just write on the paper
Uh-huh.
and see the numbers? Sometimes they're long and sometimes they're short and sometimes they're not really ones that I know.
So sometimes the difficult homework can be a little bit frustrating. So what's your favorite part? What's the thing that you like the most about homeschooling?
Do I have to do one?
No, you don't have to do one. You can do more than one.
I like the math games and I like the reading and I like the other sheets when they do the like fruit things and the like coins.
Oh, you like the money.
Mm-hmm.
The money. So you like learning about money and you like adding and all that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to hear what you thought about homeschooling. Are you excited about homeschooling for next year?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah, because I'm going to be in a different grade.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad that you like homeschooling. I'm glad that it's given you the confidence, and I'm very proud of you when it comes to reading because you've gotten so much better from when you first left kindergarten to now in first grade. You're doing an amazing job. So I'm super proud of you.
Yeah, because I'm learning much stuff that makes me have power to do stuff that's everything right.
You have the ability to do stuff.
Yeah.
Gives you power, or do you mean you're able to do stuff?
It gives me power to learn how to do stuff.
Gives you it's not power. It just gives you the ability.
It gives me the ability.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you for coming on and sharing what you feel about homeschool. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right. So we got my third and final guest on today, which is my husband, Will. So we were talking, or I was talking to Niobe and Zamira about their experience with homeschooling. And it's kind of funny to hear their perspective on it. Of course, Niobe shared the social aspect that she misses from public school, but that was really the only thing that she missed. She did call me out for sometimes being a distracted teacher on my phone. I want to choke her. Anyway, no, she called me out. Was like, I get distracted on my phone sometimes, but she said not all the time. She said sometimes I have to like call your name more than once. But I said if that's the worst part of homeschooling, I think we're doing pretty good. Just saying. But I will work on that. I take note. Okay, so I will take fault in that. I need to put my phone away sometimes. But all the jokes aside, both of them expressed that they like the ability to be able to ask questions and to know that they're going to get help. And Niobe expressed also her comfort at being at home. And then Zamira just expressed her confidence in being able to read and everything. So I wanted to ask you just your perspective as we started. I shared already that the reason why we chose homeschooling was because we couldn't afford the Christian school. And with how public schools are going, especially here in Minnesota, we just did not feel at peace at all at sending our kids to a public school with knowing the anti-Christian perspective that is constantly pushed nowadays in public schools and not wanting our kids to learn things that are just not age appropriate or what we feel is not age appropriate for our children. So I've already kind of gone through all of that, but I want to hear from you just as we started homeschooling, from not knowing how to even do it to now being a year complete in about a month now. How do you feel homeschooling has been?
I'm very happy that we went that route. I know we had questions at first, like how is it going to go? So like, can we do it? Like, if we're working, how do we have time to do it and stuff like that? And I remember hearing like from different ends of the spectrum. Some people like, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, and other people were like, no, it's easy. Like, there's curriculums, there's YouTube videos, stuff like that, and it's like not really that hard. And I feel like it's getting more of that second part. Like there's rough moments with it, kind of being like, okay, like we're trying to find the best way to explain and get them to understand. But also, too, a lot of it is like there's a lot of videos that explain stuff that we can't. So I'm really happy with the progress that we've seen. Like, to be honest, I mean, Niobe's not really had the hardest time in school, which has progressed pretty quick.
Yeah.
But especially with Zamira, and just like she's progressed like leaps and bounds compared to what she was, and I couldn't be happier for that. And then, like you said, you touched on before, like the only other option we had was public school, which was like we're going to be constantly at battle with our faith and stuff like that, and having to explain, they're saying this, but that's not truth. That's not the way it is, and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess long answer short, I couldn't be happier with the progress that we've seen and just kind of the experience overall.
Yeah, and I want to speak too on like the difficulties that do come with it. Like obviously we're both full-time working parents, and so you do come home some days and you're like, I don't feel like doing homework with these kids right now. But with public schools, you feel the same way. Like, I know I have to come home and do homework. So at the end of the day, it's the same thing. It's the same difficulties that would come with public schools. You're tired. You want to rest. You don't really want to do homework, right? But I will say with homeschooling, there is that flexibility of being able to kind of switch around how you do your days and when you do your days. So Niobe's old enough that she starts her homework before we come home. And so when we get home, we go over with her what she already did, and then we finish up with her whatever she couldn't do or whatever she did get wrong. And then Malia and Zamira are the younger two, and their homework does not take as long as Niobe's. And so it's a little bit easier to just come home and do theirs and just have us do it. And my dad watches them during the day, and to have all three of them, we don't put that pressure on him to have to do the homework with them. So that's why we saved our younger two for us when we get home. But honestly, it doesn't take as long as you would think because it is just them. You're not in a classroom full of kids. So it doesn't take the hours that it takes public schools to teach kids, because it's just you and your child, and you know the pace that they work at. And on top of that, like their days off for us are Wednesday and Saturday. So they have school on Sunday. After we come home from church and go eat for lunch and maybe take a nap, we start their homework. So there is flexibility for you to make the schedule that fits you and fits your kids. There are some days where, Zamira or Malia or even Niobe were having a difficult day, just tired, worn out, or just had a day. And we would say, okay, you know what? Stop your homework right now. Leave it for tomorrow. So maybe instead of Wednesday being your break, you're gonna finish your homework on Wednesday, or you're just gonna have a little more to do tomorrow, or we'll break it up and you'll make up for it. But to just take the day off because you're having a day, and I think that has shown to be helpful too, is allowing them to have breaks when it's just you can just see it in your child that they're just mentally tired, just like we get mentally tired. They're mentally tired, but in school, they're not able to do that. You are in school from the time that you get there until the time that school is out, period. You don't get a break. So I think just emotionally and mentally, it has been a blessing for them to be able to. And then there are days where we're like, no, you can do this. You're going to finish. You're going to do this. And then they smile, especially with Zamira. With reading, at first, it was like she wanted to give up every day. And there's some days you're like, okay, we'll let you take a break. And no, today you are going to push past this. You are going to do it. And to see her with such joy afterwards was just, it was just a blessing. There's still times where I want to cry seeing Zamira be able to read, because it's like, wow, she went from not knowing her letter sounds to now being able to fully read with confidence. So Yeah, I just wanted to bring everybody on to just share kind of how they felt about homeschooling. Is there anything else that you would like to share that maybe I missed?
Well, you touched on Samir with the reading. Like you said, I think anyone I want to say that is struggling with like either being able to afford a private school or being like, okay, well, they're in public school, but we don't know if our child is getting the best attention they couldn't get or the best instruction for whatever reason. To looking at homeschooling, I know I was talking to one of our training partners yesterday about homeschooling. We're like, yeah, sure, there's more time involved with your kids, so technically, more parenting, but we were making a joke of like, yeah, who wants that? And kind of like, no one told us that we were actually going to have to parent our kids. But, it's, yeah, I recommend looking into it. I know we were concerned about the social aspect, but there's ways around that and stuff like that. Like there's still times that can be set up with friends, events outside of a school setting. But yeah, nothing can actually, no one can convince me of a negative with homeschooling after watching the progression with Zamira.
Yeah.
And just like not only being able to read, but also actually starting to be able to write now too. When like we were having meetings with her teachers last year, and her teacher was saying how far behind she was, and it's like just just that extra attention will do wonders with your kid.
Yeah, and the social aspect, like you said, I was telling Niobe, we can do better at planning more play dates, but they have the social aspect when they go to jiu-jitsu. They've built friendships there. They also go to Awana, which is a Bible camp for kids. And then also we plan on signing them up for sports, which locally, they have different ways that you can combine with the public schools to have sign up for sports. So we still make sure that we supplement that social part. And then on top of that, one thing I would add is there's so many resources for homeschooling curriculum where you are not having to put it together yourself. We tried one homeschooling curriculum this year, felt that it was good, not quite challenging enough in some subjects. So we would supplement from other different curriculums. So you can do that. You can trial run it and be like, okay, this isn't challenging my kid. I want to add something else to it. And so this year we're going to try Monarch for Niobe and Life Pack for Malia and Zamira, which is for a younger grade. So there is that flexibility of seeing where your kid's at and building it out for them and making it unique for them. So I will say there's that too, of just being able to not only make it fun, but make it challenging to their level. And your kid and what they need to know. And there's a lot of things that, I think we could agree that we learned in school that we're like, we didn't need that. We did not need that. We could have learned something else. Like, for instance, Malia brought up, not Malia, Zamira. When you have 3 kids, you mix their names up all the time. So Zamira, she brought up learning money. And I'm like, that is going to be great for her versus learning that there's 5,000 genders. Okay, I said it. Don't get mad at me. But there's not, right? So her learning about money is going to be way more helpful than some things that they would be learning in public schools or just in school in general that is not going to be helpful to them when they get to be adults, or something that they could sign up for in college that would help them in a specific career. So, but with that being said, is there anything else? I don't think I missed anything.
No, just one thing to touch on too, like you mentioned the whole time and coming home and you yourself being tired, but having to deal with the homework with the kid with homeschool. And like what I also found ways with that too is that you can orchestrate how you do the lessons. Like say you get home and you're like, I just need to rest for like 15-20 minutes and then dive in. Well, that 15-20 minutes can be them starting on a video section, stuff like that, where they're not starting their homework later, but you set up the videos, they go through those videos, and then after those videos, then you kind of dive into the actual more work part of their lesson.
Right. It's just that flexibility. And I think that's the biggest thing from a parent's perspective that I learned about homeschooling is there is flexibility to shape it around what you and your family need.
Yep.
So I'm sure we will touch back on this subject again, especially as we go into our second year of homeschooling our children. But with that, I just want to say, pray without ceasing, nurture your family, and continue to train like a war machine.